What's up? We need to talk about preparing for the future. I did a video a little bit ago about haughty homesteading and presumptuous prepping. And basically, that video I was talking about not becoming too attached to everything you've done to prepare for the future in terms of material things, your homestead, things that you have bought, beans, bones, and band-aids, and considering that these things all might be destroyed, and first of all, putting your trust in God above all, and keeping your focus and your priorities in the right place and having the right mindset to prepare you in case you do lose things and you might have to flee. So I suggest you go back and watch that video, but I have something else to talk about today. I think it's a very important issue that needs to be talked about. And it's related to prepping and a problem that I see a lot. Now, the problem is that we have a lot of people who are prepping for the future, and in a huge amount of cases, more than you would think, people are buying things. They're buying supplies. They're packing away food and supplies to have water and medical supplies, beans, bolts, and band-aids, all that stuff, and a bunch of gear and gear for, firearms and all those types of things. They have all this stuff, but they're neglecting their body. Yeah, see that a lot. And it's a big problem. And I'm here to warn you about this issue and give some tips as to how you could take care of this starting now and to stop procrastinating these issues, putting them off for another day. And you need to start confronting it, and you shouldn't wait. You should take care of it now. And let me just explain the issues I'm talking about. It's three main issues we're going to cover. Number one is nutrition, diet nutrition in the body, what you're putting in your body. Number two is physical movement, especially when it comes to physical labor. And number three is adjusting to body temperatures outside that are not in artificial environments. Okay? Now, before I talk about those things, let me tell you why I can talk about those things in my experience. I started studying things related to diet nutrition all the way back in 2008. I cut out as much junk out of my diet as possible. I completely cut out fast food and pretty much haven't eaten any fast food since then. Occasionally go out to eat and you have some junk or whatever, but for the majority of the time, don't have that. And tried to eat healthier. And so a lot of experience studying that and doing that. And then as far as moving the body, physical labor, I've done that for a majority of my life. I've over a decade of experience doing landscape construction, including owning my own business. And I've also done moving, professional moving. And if you don't know how much physical labor that is, imagine, why don't you think about how much you hate moving, then try to do that every day where you load up a 26-foot truck all the way to the end, then unload it all in the same day, and then get up the next day and do it again. It's a lot of physical work in the winter and in the summer. I've done all that, so I know all about that. And then the third thing is adjusting to temperatures outside, not being in artificial environments, not being around heat or air conditioning. Well, I have a lot of experience with that as well. Not only working outside, being used to those temperatures, which is not only in the summer, but also in the winter as well. I've lived in New Hampshire, Minnesota, and Hill Country, Texas. So I know the heat and the cold. And up in the north, I did snow plowing for a living as well. So I did shoveling snow, snow blowing, plowing outside. I've also street preached on New Year's Eve in 0-degree weather in Minnesota. And also in the heat. What do I know about the heat? Well, I've lived in Hill Country, Texas for almost 2 years now, and I've lived outside in a tent in the heat with no AC for a year and a half. So I think I know about adjusting body temperatures to the environment outside without artificial conditioning of the air. Okay? So having said all that, let's talk about these points. Because if you have all the gear in the world, you have all the preps and the food and everything else that you need, but you neglect your body, you're going to get wrecked. You're going to get wrecked. It's going to go very, very bad for you. Okay, so let's talk about diet and nutrition first of all. You can't be stacking all kinds of gear and having all kinds of guns and beans and bullets and band-aids and then eating ho-hos and ding-dongs. First of all, you're going to wreck your immune system. Good luck when something, you get exposed to something, you're going to get sick. You're ruining your immune system. And then in addition to that, you're not going to be feeling like moving around much, especially when you have to go in the environment outside and it's hot or it's cold. Your body's not going to function that well. It's not optimal function. So the issue is, you can't wait till you have to change it in the future. You need to start changing it now. And it's very simple. We don't need to talk about all these crazy diets. It's very simple. Stop putting as much processed junk in your body as you can, and start eating as much real healthy food as you can. That's it. It doesn't even have to be organic. If you can, great. But if you can't, just make sure it's real fruit, real food, real meat, fruit, vegetables, nuts and seeds, these types of things. Okay? That's not processed. And doesn't have a bunch of junk added in. Refined sugars, refined flour, hydrogenated oils, these types of things. Check the labels. And then in addition to that, you should also be adding some nutrition, because a lot of things are depleted of nutrition. The soils are depleted of nutrition. And so what you can do is you can get any nutritional powder, a green powder, whatever it is, at the grocery store. Go to the health food section, get some type of powder that has a bunch of vitamins in it. Put a scoop of that in some juice, drink that every day. Also, if you have a problem eating dessert at night, ice cream and all this stuff and cookies, get yourself some chocolate protein powder and make yourself a smoothie at night after dinner to take away that craving. But you got to do something to get that under control, and you got to get it under control now, because it's going to hurt you really bad in a number of different ways. And if you're a man taking care of your family, you want to be around to take care of your family. And you don't want to increase the chances of something bad happening to you in with your circulation, with your heart, with your brain, any of these types of things. You got to think about the nutrition and the diet. The second thing is physical movement. Now, let's start from the lowest level and work our way up, okay? If you already do physical labor, great. That's awesome. Good for you. But everyone else is not moving their body that much. At bare minimum, you should be walking every day, multiple miles, maybe 3 miles, whatever it is. Make sure you're getting movement in. Bare minimum walking every day. Walking is really good for you. Doesn't hurt your knees. Okay, it's not going to blow out your body by jumping around. At bare minimum, walking. Beyond that, you should try to move a little bit more if you can. Do more exercise, basic calisthenics. But also on top of that, okay, because men especially should be doing that stuff, getting stronger. I hope you can do at least 1 pull-up, 20 push-ups, all those other type of basic things. But beyond that, for all the gym rats out there, you think because you're a gym rat that you're all set with working outside and doing physical labor, which, by the way, the chances that you're going to have to do that in a super crazy chaotic situation, which you're most likely going to have to deal with coming up soon. I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's going on in the world. Chances are you're going to have to do some physical labor. Okay? Now, doing that all day is much different than going to the gym for 45 minutes to an hour. Okay? It is different. And you will be sore if you're not used to it. You will absolutely be sore. Even in landscaping, sometimes you get sore after doing plowing all winter. Then you start in the spring again. First couple of weeks, you're a little bit sore because your body's getting used to it. Well, guess what? That's going to happen with you. And guess what? It's going to be even worse when it's not a relaxed environment where you're doing it for a job or you're just doing it for fun. What if it's an emergency? And now you have to do it because your life depends on it, your family's life depends on it, and you have to do a bunch of work that has to get done all day, every day. And you're not used to doing that, and you're used to sitting around a lot every day. Well, guess what? You don't just, quickly have a body that's used to doing that within a few days. That's not going to happen. It's going to hurt you. So the time to get your body used to moving like that is now. Okay? Start off with some basic stuff. Why don't you practice digging a trench in your yard, moving your body around? Maybe instead of you were going to pay some guys to do something, Why don't you try to see to do as much as you can yourself? But practice moving your body, doing that labor, moving muscles that you haven't moved in a while, and try to put in some hours doing stuff like that and get your body used to moving around, because I'm telling you, it's not going to go well for you. And if you have, maybe you need to lose some weight, that will help with that. And I highly suggest you do, because that will definitely not be good for you. And again, doesn't have to be anything crazy diets or anything, or plans. Just cut out as much junk as you can, eat as much good real food, put in nutrition, move your body, get fresh air, get sunlight, sweat, all that stuff. You're going to feel better, and your body is going to get stronger and healthier. Okay? And the third thing is, and this is a really important point, saving this for last, and this is what a lot of people are not used to, which is learning how to survive and thrive without air conditioning and heat, in not living in artificial environments. Okay? Even here, people had the gall. I'm in Hill Country, Texas, right? People have the gall to tell me, not the gall, they don't really know, but but they're like, oh man, you're probably not used to this heat yet. Probably not used to this heat. No, they're not used to the heat. Okay, because in case you didn't know, the people that live here, they're in air conditioning most of the time. So even the people that live here are not used to their own environment that much. Some people come outside. Some guys work outside, and kudos to them. That's brutal. But everyone else, they're in AC. And many other places of the country, people are used to being in those environments and being able to go into that. Well, guess what? What happens if in the future you cannot, and there isn't power, and you cannot have an AC? Well, you're going to have to find out some other solutions. And what about the heat? What about if you're up in the cold and you don't have heat? What are you going to do? And then now combine these together. Okay, now it's hot out, you don't have AC, and you have to go move your body. Well, how are you going to feel if you're used to dipping, chewing tobacco, smoking cigarettes, eating junk food? Then you have to go move your body outside. It's not going to go well. You need to start thinking about this now, and not just thinking about it. You need to do something about it now. Do not wait. If you wait, you will regret it. I'm warning you right now, to give you a sense of urgency. And let me tell you something. It's very simple. With this stuff out here, let's talk about the heat. Can you get used to it? Yes, you can. Is it going to be rough at first? Yes, it will be, because you're not used to it, especially if you're from up north like me. It's going to take a little bit. But you're going to learn how to use the shade. You're going to stay hydrated. By the way, this is what I recommend. You can't just drink water all the time. Make sure you drink plenty of water. But I drink water all morning till the afternoon. Then you start introducing electrolyte drinks. Hopefully not Gatorade, something else. Body Armor is better, but there's also other electrolyte powders you can get. Redmond makes some. They're the ones that make the real salt. They make some electrolyte powders. Whatever it is, you need something to put in there, because you sweat everything out. You sweat these electrolytes out. You are going to need to drink something else besides water if you're going to want to function. Make sure you put that and think about that in your preps. A lot of people are like, well, I got water, I'm all set. No, you're not. Not if you're in a hot environment. If you just have water, you're not going to feel good after sweating all day. Make sure you got electrolytes. All right, so you got the shade, you got that stuff. And then obviously, if you're doing work outside, physical labor, and you have the option, think about the time of day. The hottest part of the day is not between 11 and 1. It's between 2 or 3 to 6 o'clock at night. It's roasting, hottest part of the day. So maybe if you have to do some things, do it earlier in the morning or at night. Those are the type of things to think about for the future. But conditioning your body to get used to these things, try to break yourself off of the addiction to the air conditioning. Use it sometimes if you need to. If someone's really not feeling good, okay, I understand that. But try to get out more. Try to be out outside of artificial environments. Now, what about up in the cold? You can get yourself more used to that as well. Okay? And even when you're surrounded by snow and ice, you got to learn how to dress. Make sure you got a good base layer. That's one of the most important things. Okay? You can buy merino wool base layers. Back in my day, we had long johns. You put on your long johns. Oh, we got to have a base layer on. That really makes a big difference, including your thighs. And the things that are going to get cold first are your extremities, fingertips, toes. Maybe you should make sure you have hand warmers, but high quality boots, high quality gloves, multiple pairs of gloves. They're going to get wet. Make sure you're not wet. If you sweat and then you go back in the cold, that's going to hurt you. You want to stay dry. But keeping your body moving in the cold does help you to stay warm. That's another big thing. So, and then, if you didn't have heat, well, you'd have to do fires, right? That's going to be the biggest thing. Fires, you can look up other methods or whatever, but I'm just talking about the body, clothing, these types of things. Just make sure you consider all those environmental factors. Okay? So, I think you get the idea, what I'm trying to say here. All this has to do with your body. Okay? Not everybody, a lot of people are putting so much focus on food and water and all the supplies that they have, and they're neglecting their body. But you need to be focusing on it now. Nutrition, physical movement, especially physical labor, but getting in shape no matter what. You need to do both. And also getting used to being outside of artificial environments. Because that could all disappear before you have no clue. Anything could happen. We could have a geomagnetic storm. We could have an EMP. We could have a cyber attack. It's easily go out like that. And you're not prepared. But if you have your body prepared, it's going to be way more important than how much stuff you got packed away. Okay? And, I think that's pretty much it. But I think that this is such an important issue that I see being neglected that we needed to make a video about this. And I hope that you will all listen to this and start taking action today. And don't neglect your body. Because that's, and also one last thing too. Some people think that they're super spiritual and neglecting your body. That's absolute garbage. That's absolute garbage. God gave you a body to be a steward of that, to take care of it. Yes, you focus on spiritual things first and foremost. You're praying, you're reading the Bible, you're doing good works, these types of things. But that doesn't mean treat your body like garbage. You don't care what you put in your body. And talk about physical movement. What do you think that they did for thousands of years before they had desk jobs and corporations and cubicles? Most of the time, the jobs required moving. How do you think they were, what did they have for transportation? Walking. Riding horses. Not driving around in SUVs. Air-conditioned SUVs. Yeah, they moved their bodies a lot more. And they didn't have all the processed junk that we have, okay? So, that's all through the Bible. See them, how they're eating and moving their bodies. It's crazy to think that that's a biblical thing, to just neglect your body like that. It's not being spiritual at all. It's not being a good steward, okay? So, I think that's about it. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for all the support, all the prayers, all the gifts, and everything else. God bless you. Have a good day.